Hey, this is Tim. Just want to leave a quick post on a video I saw hosted by the Young Turks, preferred station of mine. They're pretty liberal, but, you know. So the video is titled Michael Moore versus Elizabeth Hasselbeck on Osama bin Laden. And the entire video is essentially Michael Moore and Elizabeth Hasselbeck debating on whether or not Osama bin Laden deserved a fair trial. I mean, after 9/11, it's not new news now that we caught him. He's been killed, executed, even though no evidence has been shown of that. But so Michael Moore was debating, saying that he did deserve the trial, and Elizabeth Hasselbeck was trying to say that because he had killed, thousands of people, he shouldn't deserve that basic human right that we all really have, to be put on trial, convicted, and if given the max, penalty for that crime, it would be death, most likely by electrocution, and like they do in Texas, or by needle of some kind. Probably not firing squad. They only do that up in Russia. But what Michael Moore tried to say was, when the Nazis, when we had, defeated Germany in World War II, we took the Nazis and put them on trial, and they had killed millions of people. Millions. Only, even out of the Holocaust, even just out of the Jews, he had killed, the Nazis had killed 11 million people. 11. Just them. Not including the Gypsies, the Poles, any blacks, any disabled people, such as those suffering from mental retardation or any other form of physical disability. They killed them because they didn't want them to infect their superior Aryan race with their defective genes. So I think it totals over 13 to 14 million people just from the Holocaust, not including the at least a million or so that died from Russia when they were involved in the war. Doesn't include their own casualties. It doesn't include England's casualties, France's casualties, America's casualties. They dragged Italy and Japan into the war, which also caused a lot of casualties. But regardless, you get the point. They caused the deaths of millions of people, countless, for no reason, really, except for a very narrow-minded ideology. Well, when Michael Moore tries to make that point, that we brought the Nazis over, we convicted them, we put them on trial, we found them guilty, and we hung them. And that's just how we did it. And Jank on the program, and the reason why I make this entire video is because I want to put my own philosophical twist on it. Because Zhang said that, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be tougher, and we're supposed to show them that we're better than them. And I agree with him to a point, but to change what he said, to put my own philosophical twist on it, and this is where I get deep into a lot of things, he shouldn't have said, to show that we're better than them. We're not supposed to show that we're better than them. We're supposed to show that we're supposed to try and set an example for the world. And that example, according to, the Declaration of Independence and what the original founders of this country, and in my own belief, what I believe that, what they really intended for this country to become was that we're supposed to set an example for everyone else, a good example, a prime example of how, humanity should exist and how people should treat each other. And regardless, even if they committed the most heinous crimes, you're supposed to give them a natural, basic human right of habeas corpus, right to trial. And we're losing it in this country. We are. And, there's been countless American citizens who have put in jail indefinitely in the federal system, and I'd love to have debates like this. I would love to debate with people and the mainstream media about things like this, because they legitimately have no logic in their thought. They just say things, and people that, and I'm not saying ignorant as in an insult, but people who are ignorant on specific subjects, when they hear these types of things, they just believe them. And I mean, they're like, oh, well, why would the media lie to me? It's like, why the hell wouldn't they? Why does anybody lie? Everyone's the same. What makes them better? What, they have more money? They have more makeup? Oh, they can afford plastic surgery? No, they're not better. They're just like everyone else. People lie. It's human nature. I mean, it's our basic animal instinct. I mean, we have a basic animal instinct to be very sneaky. I mean, and it was intentionally designed for our survival. Now it's considered a sin, if you want to say it in a religious way. But I mean, that's essentially it. I mean, I think his wording was just a little off, and I just like to throw my philosophical twist onto that. I agree with him completely. We should give anybody right to habeas corpus, no matter the crime. I mean, recently the man who was up, I think he was in Sweden, mass murdered 120, 140 people, somewhere around then, around that number, with machine guns, killed children. He didn't care. He even wrote a Christian manifesto, and completely saying that he was a Christian and that he was doing it to fight off Islamic threat. I mean, a lot of really messed up crap. And I love how the mainstream media tried to say that he was there like, oh, he's not a Christian. He couldn't possibly be a Christian because a Christian wouldn't do that. It's like, how does that make sense? Because when somebody who does something bad, like a terrorist attack, and claims to be Islamic, you completely agree and say, oh yeah, of course they're Islamic. It's all that bullcrap, you know. We should just be better to people, and we shouldn't be giving people fair trial to try and show that we're better than them. We should be giving them fair trial because it is the right thing to do. And that's just my take on it. I mean, you can disagree with me, agree with me, whatever. And for this video, though, I'd like to give a shout out to Toast, who came by today for our podcast, which didn't happen. We couldn't get in contact with our special guest, Mindcrime. We were going to have him come over Uvu, or however you pronounce it, Skype, essentially. Also, Thorn, who got caught up, who I want to shout out to. He is going to be releasing his new mixtape soon. Yeah, he produces music. Ego Trip Volume 1. Check it out. We'll post links for his music. I'd like to give a shout out to Kirby, who's actually out of state, had his first flight. Shout out to Justin, who's on vacation. Hopefully we can get him soon, too, on a podcast. Another shout out to Manny, who we'd also like to be getting on the podcast soon, along with others. We'll be having plenty of new guests. You'll expect to see me and Toast on these quite often. You know, just what we do. And that's essentially it. One last shout out to my baby, Christy, because she's supplying us with some of the technology we're going to be using. Yes, this camera that I'm using now is just a nice digital camera from Sony. Be expecting us to be, we're going to have some new setups with camcorders. We'll have some nice mics. We'll be setting up electronic systems downstairs pretty soon. We'll have the whole shebang. We'll have speakers, everything. Try to make it as high quality as possible for these podcasts. But that'll end the transmission for now, and just stay tuned in. Alright, bye.